So two really important factors in hitting a long straight shot is the timing of your release, right? Did I release too early? No good. Did I release too late and I left a lot of club head speed in the bag still? Or did I get my club to release right at the right time, right? Kind of through and just after the golf ball. And the second thing is just having your club on the right delivery plane, right? This is kind of our functional swing plane to hit a good ball here. It just kind of mirrors the shaft angle at address. Am I coming over the top of that plane or am I coming too far underneath? Those are obviously things that play together with your release. Okay, so we've got the straight stick here again, and it has this little wonderful thing on here called a compression clicker. And what I love about it is, you can obviously change for your club head speed, right? And they've got some good information on that. Like I like to set mine at around 90 miles per hour for my 7-iron. It was pretty close to my club head speed for it. If you're a little bit slower, it makes adjustments for that based on your club head speed. Okay, so it's an appropriate level where you'll get it to still work. But as you go to kind of swing and hit balls, some things that I would want you to kind of think through, if I'm swinging this and I come over the top, there's no click, right? You could see over the top, my weight hangs back, there's no click. If I get too far inside and underneath and my hips run out like this, also no click. So it recognizes when your swing is on plane and the timing of when you're releasing the club to give you that click and to give you that feedback. So if I do a good one here, I could definitely hear that click, and the click is just after the golf ball is where I'm hearing it. And that kind of goes to the next part that we're talking about getting your release to be at the right time, right? You can have an early release, right? You could have too late of a release and drag the handle through the ball, or we could get it to release right at the right time, which would be somewhere just after the golf ball, okay? What I like to think about when I'm kind of teaching people the release, imagine if I had like a giant drum just right here, right in my follow through that I was going to try to hit right as I got to right here, right? So there's just a giant, face of a drum, and I could obviously hit it. We always want to think past the object we're hitting, right? We always want to hit through. If you look at martial arts, right, they hit through their objects, whether it be trying to break bricks, right? Say 3 bricks, you're not just focusing on breaking that first brick, you've got to go all the way through to that last one. So even though, I want you to think about this here, the golf ball's sitting right here, everybody is so ball focused, and we have this like urge to hit this ball that typically the majority of golfers out there, they're always releasing the club too early, right? They're releasing it from the top in different ways to where it's some form or fashion of an early release. They need to learn that actually you're not trying to hit the ball. That's not your stopping point. That's not your ending point. You're trying to get to this drum over here, right? So you see my hips fully release, my weight transfer, and my arms extend. When people put too much emphasis on this, that release starts to happen back here. And with the straight stick, it's not going to work. It's not going to click if that's the case, okay? So that release point needs to be trained in your mind, both mentally and physically. I'm hitting through the ball, right? Yes, the ball's going to get hit, but my goal and my objective is to move up here, right? I didn't quite swing 90 miles per hour, so it didn't click, but you see how that really gets me thinking past my object of intent, right? We all want to hit it, we want to hit it well, but in order to do that, our focus is out in front, okay? Now get it, when I do it, I'm not lunging out in front, there's nothing violent about it. I'm pivoting and turning, right? Moving slightly to my lead side, pivoting and turning, and extending through out to here, okay? And I have students hit a lot of shots this way. I kind of call it a hit and hold, but it's a great drill to make sure that you're getting that click and that release point to be out here. So it takes whatever force you're going to apply to the ball and it magnifies it because you're going through that object. You remember Bruce Lee? He had this magical 1-inch punch. He would stand 1 inch from a guy's chest, and he said his secret was he was able to channel all his energy to go through, even though he only took it back 1 inch. And he would hit this guy and the guy would fall back 10 feet onto the ground, right? But he had trained his mind and his body to always think through the object. So, you know, when you're getting set up, we're obviously setting up to a golf ball, but I want to be focused on my target. And then I have a little sense of this drum or my finish and my end point, right? So I know that if I'm getting to here, this is going to take care of itself, right? So I was playing with a gentleman the other day, right? And he would take his practice swings. He was so ball focused, he would never even look up to do anything. He was just so intent on hitting the ball, right? When you look at good golfers, they're more target focused, right? Less ball focused because they know their goal is to move through the ball. So you see these more fluid swings where nothing stops at impact, right? If I know my body's going to stop because I'm hitting this object, this all starts to get dumped early and we get an early release, we get a cast, we come over the top, just a lot of things that, you know, our wrists start to really unhinge and uncock. A lot of things that are actually, they're physical problems, right? You're doing them sometimes, but they have a mental aspect to it just because your target needs to be shifted, right? It needs to be shifted out here more, out in front of this thing, right? A little more in the direction of our target, right? And the ball is not the target, right? Ball is something getting away. Our target is out there, right? We're just sending the ball in that direction. When it comes to the plane of the swing, right, kind of from this view, when you're watching this, right, this compression clicker, it won't click unless you get the plane into a good position, right? Just meaning that club is coming down my right forearm, just behind my hands, slightly from the inside and through the golf ball. When I swing over the top, no click. Way underneath, right, and stuck from the inside, no click. It only gives you that click when you deliver a good swing path. So I love that aspect to it, right? And, you know, it's giving me that feedback of, okay, I could hear the click out in front, but I know that my swing plane was true and correct. And I could definitely get that sense of accelerating to a good full finish. And as you hit, right, it's just going to naturally give you that feedback until you start to get it right. So it's pretty simple in that aspect. Let me go ahead and hit one. So at address, I'm picturing that drum out in front. I'm going to do one of those hit and holds, acting like I'm just hitting that drum and stopping. So man, I could hear that sound, just gong, that loud drum of my body and club just coming right to here and smacking the face of that drum. So I really think that's a great drill. If you feel like, yeah, I get a little stuck at the ball, I get a little jammed up, my weight hangs back, my wrist collapse, my body pulls up, there's a little flinch there because I feel like I'm really hitting something, my neck tucks down. I want to be like this, right? Body through, neck up and out, arms extended. And, you know, to me, I relate it to like a flinch instinct. When, you know, when you're a kid, you play that game 2 for flinch, and when, you know, somebody acts like they're going to hit you and you flinch, there's a lot of flinching when we hit a golf ball. There's a lot of this, our body pulling up and in and our neck getting crunched, our arms pulling in. We don't want to see any of that. We want to be just nice and tall, chest back, chest up, hips forward, arms extended, even if I don't hit a good ball. That's what I want my pose and my finish to look like. So that really helps to get that release point to where it's happening out here. That's just meaning we're getting our peak club head speed, right? At about this point, my hands have accelerated. Now they begin to slow, and that club head speed starts to accelerate out here through the ball, right? Not just at the ball, right? Through the ball. Let's go ahead and do a full swing. So that was nice. Total distance, 188 yards. This thing's very well made. You know, even for me, as you know, I've got a little bit more club head speed than your average golfer. It feels great. The cavity back in the head, the design of the head, the shaft, it's very well made. I love how this clicker just kind of is designed for different club head speed levels. And I just love the fact that it'll help you time your release in a very natural fashion. You don't really have to think too much or work too hard, okay? I just wanted to give you guys just a little insight as to just maybe some thought process as you go about working on these things, some different feels and where to be, where to finish. When it comes to kind of getting it on plane and doing those certain things, I love that it's just pretty natural. As you start to swing the club on plane, you'll start to hear it audibly click and you know you're in the right spot. And all that while you're still hitting golf balls, right? Because I'll see people make these changes pretty well right in front of me. They get it on plane, they're feeling it in a practice swing, put a ball there, and that urge to hit, a lot of those things end up coming back. That early release, the club being off plane. So this is something that you can do while hitting balls, right? And if you can do that quickly, you take it right out of the course a lot quicker, right? Instead of going through hours and hours of trying to rehearse practice swings. So check it out. You know, I told you a little bit about how I liked what the grip was doing, obviously, to help consistently hit it straighter. But I love what the compression clicker's doing to help get the release point out in front and to help your club come down on a better plane. So to me, it's kind of a no-brainer in a sense. Like I could give this to anybody out there, and you take it, and it'll help you get better, right? I've never seen a swing trainer really like that. Like I said earlier in our first video, normally that swing trainer is designed, maybe 1 in 10 people it helps. If you're that guy or that girl, great. But if you're not, it's not going to do much for you. This one should be pretty universal. I think anybody that gets it, you're going to start to see some benefits of a more consistent grip, right? Throughout the entire swing, because it won't be changing. But then also you're going to start to feel like the timing of your swing be correct, right? We all hit those shots, was like, wow, where did that come from? That was great. You timed that release point correctly, and that club was on a very good delivery plane. How do we do it more? This could be one of the things that helps you to do that. So check it out. We've got some information down below. I really like the guys at Performance Golf. They really hit a home run in terms of just, you know, developing this thing. It's super well made, engineered. It feels great. And like I said, I really think it would help anybody, or else I probably wouldn't be pushing it or showing it to you, right? Because I know how swing trainers go. There's a lot of hit and miss. This is definitely a hit. I hope that helps, and I will see you guys next time around.